Hello there! Did you hear that all international students and scholars and their family members must complete tax paperwork by April 15th of every year? Oh boy, you must be thinking, I don't know anything about filing a tax return in the US. What should I do? Completing tax paperwork or filing a tax return is one way the federal and state governments keep track of how much money people are earning and to ensure that they are paying the correct amount of taxes. At this point, you might be thinking, I didn't earn any income in the US, therefore I don't need to file a tax return. Wrong! Unfortunately, that's not the case. Every student in the US on an F or J visa for less than 5 calendar years, whether or not they have earned any income, must file a tax return, their spouse and children as well, even their babies. This is the same for scholars on J visa for less than 2 calendar years. The good news is that if you didn't earn any income, you only have to fill out a one-page form called Form 8843. Plus, the deadline is extended to June 15th if you are filing Form 8843 only. If you received money from your home country, you will not need to pay US taxes. However, you will still need to file Form 8843 telling the US government that you were here in the US during the previous tax year. Mail the completed Form 8843 to Department of Treasury, Internal Revenue Service Center, Austin, Texas 73301-0215. Remember to keep a copy of your completed form for your own records. Oh, you got a scholarship that covered only your tuition? This is considered as non-taxable income, and again, you only need to complete the Form 8843. Remember, if you are married and your spouse is in the US in F2 or J2 status, he or she also needs to complete the Form 8843. If your child is here also in J2 or F2 status, you should complete the Form 8843 for him or her. All forms must be mailed separately. Do not put them in the same envelope. Be sure to save a copy of your completed form for your own records. Now, let's get into a serious business. What if you had an income and paid tax and want your tax money back? The US income tax system imposes a tax based on an individual's income. When you work and earn money at Duke will withhold a certain amount of money on behalf of the federal and state governments. If you receive a scholarship from Duke that covers your living expenses, the university is also required to withhold a certain amount of money. After 1 calendar year, you will need to file a tax return reporting your income in the prior year. The deadline is April 15th. If Duke withheld too much money, the government will return the excess amount to you. You will get a tax refund. If Duke did not withhold enough money, you will need to pay additional taxes to the government. If you have a US-sourced income such as a Duke Fellowship, teaching assistantship, research assistantship, or work on campus, you need to complete the Form 1040NR or 1040NR-EZ in addition to the Form 8843. You will also need to complete a state tax return. Wah! Don't panic. There are easy ways to complete these forms. There's online software that prepares federal and state tax forms for you. It's called SprintTax. Every year, International House purchases a limited number of access codes for this program for international students and scholars at Duke. These codes are given out on a first-come, first-served basis from mid-March. If you're not able to get a free access code, you can buy one yourself online. SprintTax will walk you step by step through the process. When you complete the filing, you must print out the tax forms, sign them, and mail them to Internal Revenue Service. Be sure to keep a copy for your own records. Well, that's it. Don't worry too much. If you worked and had salary last year, You will receive a W-2 form from Duke University by January 31st. If you had a scholarship that covered your living expenses, or if your home country has a tax treaty with the United States and you claim tax treaty benefit, you will receive the Form 1042S by March 15th. You will need those forms to complete your tax returns, so keep an eye out for them. You can access the W-2 form online as well via Duke at Work. For more questions, please contact International House at ihouse@duke.edu.